All right, thank you again for speaking with me, my 100th interview, and I'm so glad to have it with you, Steve. Again, meeting at the same spot, Tom's Farm, Wicked Syndicate's car show, Tom's Farm. This is fantastic, but you did not bring the Evora today that I adored and love. What did you bring for us today?
Well, I bought a 2017 Aston Martin DB11 with a V12 engine.
DB11 V12, one of the few, if not rarest, consumer V12s that you can get.
Yeah,
now,
the car is number 7 of only 70 built worldwide, with the Aston Martin Racing upgrade, suspension, and engine upgrade to it as well.
And the color is very similar to your Evora. Is it the same? Or tell me about the color.
No, that's a factory color. It's $11,000 upgraded color called Cinnabar Orange.
Cinnabar Orange. And again, just even here, not even with perfect sunlight, looks phenomenal. Absolute showstopper. I really appreciate meeting you again and seeing another one of your toys. Now, you've always been all in Lotus, Aston Martin, on those type of vehicles. Again, let's go back to the original questions. Why do you choose these type of cars? What is it that you connect to with again, not only a V12, but just the brand?
Because they're handmade, they've been producing cars for a long time. They have a lot of racing history behind them. Like the Lotus has the only manufacturer that's had 33 world championships in either IndyCar, Formula One, Formula 2, or GT4 racing. Same with Aston Martin. It's been around for 114 years, 110 years, and they're involved in a lot of international racing.
And so, describe, I mean, you already have the Evora, which again, to me is like the #1 driving experience. Now you have more of a GT kind of car with a massive amount of power, or just the sound, let alone the sound and the beauty of it. Could you tell me briefly, what are the driving dynamics of this DB11, the V12, and how it compares to your Evora?
Well, the DB11 is more of a GT car, like cruising car. It had a high power output. It's good for the street and for the track as well. But it's not as nimble as the Evora, because the Evora is only half the weight.
You notice the weight primarily.
Oh yeah, because the difference between a track car and street car and a GT car is completely different. The GT car is done for cruising and track as well, but it's mostly for cruising, long distances, or having fun. Country roads.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I would take this on a little California toge mountain drive if I could. Now, describe to me the interior, because the interior is just as gorgeous as the outside. What have you found out, or what have you learned with the interior and how this car was manufactured?
Well, the way it's manufactured is it's, because it's hand-built, there's 4 seamstresses in the factory. Behind the headrest will be a sun, a heart, a moon, or a star, and that determines actually which seamstress actually did the work in the factory. And everything is hand-stitched, hand-done in the car, and that's what makes the car unique and unusual.
And again, I can't wait to film some of the interior of it. But thank you again for bringing it. Such an amazing car. Let's talk about the V12. Okay, what's the maintenance like, and why do you continue to support it and love it? And what should someone know if they're going to be getting into a V12 DB11?
Well, actually, the maintenance on a V12 Aston Martin is actually cheaper to maintain than my Porsche 911.
Oh,
and that's only a 6-cylinder.
Is it because it's more simple, or is it because maybe
the engineering of it, aspect of it, and I don't know. I had my 6-year service on it with $950,
which is on for that car.
My 3-year service on my Porsche 911 was $1,500.
I believe it. So I was going to say, for an Aston Martin, for a V12 Aston Martin, nonetheless, you can't beat that. You really can't beat that.
What's interesting too is on the Aston Martin V12, you don't even need to change your spark plugs until 60,000 miles.
So they use the appropriate ones.
Yes, yes.
All right, and so just to wrap this conversation up, we've already talked about electrification and the future of cars. We've already had that question and conversation. Let's end it on a positive note. Out of all the cars and driving experiences you've had, what should the youth do or take advice from you in order to keep our car culture alive?
Invest your money wisely. Put your money when you working. Put 25% and invest it in the market or in annuity programs, so you can get there one day. You know, when you go to retire or whatever the case may be, you can make upgrades on your car, and then hopefully the country will go to more hydrogen, like we've seen lately, which will be beneficial. You can turn an internal combustion engine into a hydrogen car for very inexpensive cost compared to electric car.
Yeah, let's do it. Invest your money, support hydrogen if possible, and let's keep driving these cool cars.
That's it.
You've been the amazing 100th interview. I really appreciate it, Steve. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to go do my walk around, but please come show me that interior.
Okay.